Okay. Hi. This is a new thing for me that I don't usually do, but I'm doing it. This is an unscripted video. That I just wanted to talk for a bit because about yesterday. I'm at the time of me recording this, it's the 15th. So Sunday night basically. Yeah, it's gonna be really scuffed. By the way, I just want to let that be known. But about Sunday night. I was recording the Sonic Frontiers video, which is nearly done, by the way. And what happened was Epic Games randomly dropped the announcement that there would be a Chapter 3 finale event on December 3rd. I kind of just want to talk about it because I just find it kind of annoying. kind of. I don't know. Like, it came out of nowhere. And then, like, this chapter, like, chapter, like, barely lasted a year, and now we're like on to chapter 4. Like, I can't be the only person who finds that really weird. Like, that came out of nowhere. Like, I was in pure shock because I really wasn't expecting it. Like, anyone who knows me, they can tell you I've been saying this for basically since the beginning of the season that next season would be chapter 4. Um, and I've been told that I'm wrong or that I'm like it's not going to be chapter 4. Basically, I called it from a fucking mile away that next season would be chapter 4, and no one believed me. But I do wish I was wrong because honestly, this chapter barely got to last. Like season 2 was pretty mid. Season 3 was just ass. But season 1 and 4 were really good, and I think if this had more time to really, live, like if this chapter was given more time to breathe, I think this could have been a great chapter. Ignoring Zero War, they really nailed the story in this chapter. Like, it's such an improvement from everything that they did wrong in chapter 2, they got right in this chapter, which I think is great. I love that. But for it to be ending randomly out of nowhere feels so weird because it's like, why? Like, I'm not sure what that goal was with this. Like, my friend said, oh, well, it's because of Creative 2.0, but it's not because of Creative 2.0 because they delayed. Tim Sweeney said on Twitter that they delayed Creative 2.0 to fucking January 2023, so it's not even because of that. And even if it was, I mean, the base version of Creative, the Creative we've all known, launched in Season 7 of Chapter 1. They didn't need to make a new chapter. Why they decided to just make a new chapter feels so out of nowhere. Like, they could have extended this this chapter by 2 more seasons. I put a poll out on one of my Twitter accounts that basically said, like, what's the perfect length for a season, or for a chapter? I don't like saying season. And it came down to 6 seasons. And I think that's right. I think 6 seasons is perfect. I think 6 seasons really works. It's not just, like, you've got enough time to really give us time to play on that map. I mean, it's only 2 seasons shorter, but it makes a lot of difference. Especially when seasons usually last, like, 3 months. So that's like a year and a half on a map. And I know Chapter 2 didn't do the full, like, Season 10, like, from Season 1 to Season 10, but that, technically, Chapter 1's story only started in Season 3, so that, technically, it makes sense as to why Chapter 2 was 8 seasons, because Chapter 1 was only really 8 seasons, but this makes no sense. Like, why make this 4 seasons? Like, there's no reason for this to be 4 seasons. I think it's just really unusual. And what I also don't like is, if this is how every fucking chapter is just gonna end now, it's gonna, oh yeah, have some shit happen, we go to a new map, and then the fucking last reality comes in, and all comes back, and fucks everything up. That's so boring and uninteresting, and I don't want that if that's how every chapter is just gonna end now. Like, no, I don't know anyone who would want that. Like, that's just boring, right? Like, surely. And, like, I think yearly chapters in general are just a bad thing, because if this is how we're going now with yearly chapters, 1 chapter every year, it's gonna get so uninteresting. Because think back to when Chapter 2 released, that was an insane time for Fortnite as a whole, because the fact that game willingly shut its servers down for like almost 3 days, fucking insane. No one's ever done that. No one. No one, no one has ever done that before. At least not that I'm aware. Like, for 3 straight days, well, not three, but almost three, the game just wasn't playable. You can't ever replicate that. You can never replicate it. You could try to, but it's just not possible because that was such an insane time for the game. So, like, I think yearly chapters just really take the hype off of these. Like, they're no longer big reels. It's no longer, oh, well, I wonder when this chapter's gonna happen. Like, we know when it's gonna happen. Now, granted, this means we're gonna get, like, consistent banger Christmas seasons, but then the rest of the chapters are just not going to be that interesting because we know how it ends, and we know when it's going to end. I don't know, I just don't like this decision. And again, I think this chapter was way too short. Chapter 3 as a whole was way too short. Like, there was no reason for this season to last as short as it did. Not season, oh my god, why do I keep saying season? This chapter to last as long as it did. It lasted, like, it ended so quickly. Whereas, like, Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 both got 2 full years, which, yeah, again, I just don't like it. Like, how is this isn't a smart business decision at all, because it's just, like, again, it's taking hype. Like, maybe people will get hyped for the new maps. And that's another thing, actually. I don't like that we've now just got a limited time. Like, Apex has their maps in rotation. I don't play Apex, I don't really like it. But Apex, I know this from friends and shit. Apex has their maps in rotation, like, constantly. So you can always go back and play full maps. Like, you can play entirely new maps or entirely old maps. But Fortnite, once that map is done, it's done. Like, you can't go back to it. It's like, Chapter 1 map you can't visit. Chapter 2 map you can't revisit. Unless you do, like, Rift, I think it's called. Like, private servers. But if you're on console or, well, the very little group that's on mobile or, well, like, Switch or anything like that, if you're not on a PC or a laptop, you're fucked. Like, you can't go back to it. Like, you will never be able to go back to that. And that is just really sad. Like, I think at this point, we should be able to rotate what maps we play and not have to worry about never being able to visit a map again. I think just the decisions Epic's making with the game. Here's the thing, Epic will make really good decisions with something and then just kind of, like, ruin it. Like, they'll make really good decisions and then they'll, like, take 5 steps back because of a shitty business decision. Surely they can make, like, I don't doubt that they can make maps, like, rotated, like, not rotatable. If they can make, like, map rotations and shit. But, like, why haven't they done this? Why aren't they taking from these games? People, like, shout at Fortnite and shit for taking shit from Apex, but that's good. Games should copy each other. I encourage it. I want video games to like, fucking steal shit. Like, straight up take it. Because that's what makes it fun. Genuinely, that's what makes games fun. Is they take shit from other games and then they put it into their own game with their own style. But, like, none of what Epic's doing makes sense. Like, no rotatable maps. So once, like, this Chapter 3 map, we are never gonna visit again. We're never gonna be able to go back to it. Chapter 1 you can't go back to. Chapter 2 you can't go back to. I mean, I don't know who would want to go back to Chapter 2, but I guess there you go. And then, like, not only that, but yearly map changes. Not map changes, like, oh yeah, actually map changes. Yearly changing in maps, yearly new chapters. Like, why would anyone want that? Because it just takes everything, it, like, undermines everything. Like, a new chapter used to be hyped up, but now if it's yearly chapters, maybe it is good for the publicity, but eventually it's going to get to a point where no one's going to care anymore, and it's not going to be enough for for Epic to keep Fortnite on top as a game. Like, it's just not, because people are going to get dissatisfied. They're going to have maps that they just don't like anymore. Their decision making with this is just fucking wild. Like, I don't get why they do the stuff they do. I just wish, like they could, like, do something reasonable. Like, just have Chapter 3 go on for 2 more seasons. That wouldn't hurt the game at all. But instead, no, we're going straight to Chapter 4, even though this map got barely any time to breathe. Like, 1 year compared to 2 is nothing. And, like, how short is Chapter 4 gonna be then? 2 seasons? 3? How short's fucking Chapter 5 gonna be? Is there even gonna be a Chapter 5? I think what I want Chapter 4 to just, like, end the current storyline and have Chapter 5 soft reset the game. You know, whether that's entirely new graphics, I don't know. But I just want Chapter 5 to soft reset the entire game. Not, like, obviously not lockers and shit, and, like, not the entire game, but at least in terms of the storyline, reset it. Keep old characters so that the stories can still be kind of interconnected, but, like, do a giant time skip, and for God's sake, move away from the fucking 0 point. Like, I get it's the focal point of the game, but it's like, we've been on this 0 point battle for, like, fucking, what, 3 years now? We don't need it anymore. We can move away from it. Like, I don't want the 0 point to continue being the focal point of stories. I would rather they, like, create new stories without the 0 point. So just next chapter, have us win. Have us win against the last Regality, right? And then Chapter 5, soft reset the fucking storyline, bring in new characters, new factions, new fucking maps and shit. Finally, just, like, move away from the 0 point. Give us a new storyline to deal with. A new problem. Not fucking, oh, look, this faction's trying to capture the 0 point. Better fucking go save it, you piece of shit. Because that's just, it's just not fun. Like, it's not interesting if this is how the story's just gonna continue to be now. Epic just, like, makes so many weird decisions with their storyline, and it's kind of annoying. But yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I know it's really scuffed, and I probably repeated a lot of the same stuff, but I'm unscripted, and when I'm unscripted, I just, because, like, I don't make this really too known, but I do have a script to my videos where I do record lines and shit, because I think it just helps a lot, especially, like, for me at least, who's new to this. So, but yeah, I kind of just wanted to rant a bit about what's going on. So yeah, Twitter and shit will be, like, linked in the description, you know. And yeah, thanks for listening, I guess.